Hello, this is Nick Habscheid with my Tech Task 8, and I'm here to talk about things that basically, what I was asked to do is talk about things that I've learned through this ECMP class, and things that I learned that will be valuable, that I can take out into the field, uh, reasons why I would tell other classmates to take this class, and things that I will insist my hope to be co-workers soon to use in the classrooms, things that I can talk to them about that I learned about in this class. Um, so a lot of the valuable lessons I've learned in this class I'm going to get into first and talk about. So one of the first things that I learned was prepare for the unexpected when using technology. Sometimes technology just doesn't work out. It even happened in the econ class with sometimes projector doesn't work or smartboard isn't working correctly or just a variety of things. Just the unpredictable thing can sometimes happen with technology because, let's face it, they're somewhat complicated pieces of equipment and something could go wrong compared to if you're just teaching a standard lesson. Something could go wrong. So it's probably not a bad idea to have a backup plan when using technology. And but it's great to just take a chance with it. Another important thing I learned is how technology can really capture the kids' imaginations. I remember every time during my internship when I used technology in my classroom, whether it be an Epson or just allowing the kids to go on the computers or something in that range, uh, they just loved it, and it was really important. It really engaged the students, and it was good to switch things up and show the students something that's cutting edge and new and something that they will always, hopefully, you can put together a lesson using technology that they'll always remember. And I think that's the main goal, is to capture the children's imaginations. Another thing I learned is that as teachers, new teachers going into the field, we're going to be able to have a leg up, and we're just kind of the start of this kind of revolution, I guess you could call it, where we can possibly teach other teachers that have been in the profession for a while the new ways of using these technologies and how to incorporate them and giving them resources because of technology. And this type of thing will hopefully help us get a job and stuff in the future. And it's something superintendents and principals will be looking for, to see if you're qualified, to see if you have that leg up, see if you can bring something new to their team and their school. And I really value that, and I think it's awesome that I learned about that in this class. Some other things I learned about in this class have to do around cyberbullying or your digital footprint. And it's, I learned a while ago with things like Facebook and Twitter that it's important to be a role model and have a respectable digital footprint. Great examples that were taught to me in this class about that is know how to deal with parental or children problems that have to do with technology. The Facebook comment was a great example. Melissa showed us, and yeah, it's something great, something I really value. She really went about it in a professional way to show us how to go about going over a situation like that. She didn't have to. She could have easily taken the negative route, and she decided not to. She decided to be professional, and I thought that was great. It's something you got to jot down. Uh, Take note of that. Another great thing is cyberbullying and how defenseless some kids are when it comes to that thing. I thought it was a great example too, and how technology can be used in negative ways. All this gives me a clear mind on dealing with the topics and how to go about dealing with these sort of topics professionally. I thought it was great. Another valuable thing I've learned is how technology is the way of the future. This is the last main key point I want to talk about when talking about valuable things I learned in this class. And since it's the way of the future, I want my students to be successful in the real world. And I want them to be familiar with these technologies, so hopefully they can learn how to enjoy these technologies, these different pieces of technology we get to use in our classroom, and hopefully maybe even use it towards getting a job or being happy in the future. Something along those lines. That's what I want for my students. I want them to be successful, and technology is going to help us with that. If they can understand that, they can possibly get a really good job using that technology. So another thing that I was asked to talk about was other more specific pieces of technology I learned about in this class, and things that I'm going to insist having my colleagues use in the future. So one of them is the smartboard, and I think a lot of people knew about things about the smartboard before this class. I knew a little bit about it, but I wasn't completely ingrained in it. I didn't know every single thing. There wasn't a smartboard in the classroom I taught in during my internship. It was an Epson, somewhat familiar. Still a cool piece of technology, but not exactly like the smartboard. And it was great to learn all the tricks of the trade with it, learn things like how to calibrate it, where to find great lessons, and where to even create great lessons. Just all the little nitpicking things were great. I was like, finally someone's going to show me how to use this thing. And I was just that was like the main reason. I'm like, if 50% of this course is about smartboards, I will be satisfied with that, because I want to learn how to use this thing. Because all the teachers I knew in my internship, there was a lot of teachers I knew in my internship who were becoming familiar with smartboards and using it a lot during their lessons. I didn't really have the chance to hop on that, and I was just so happy to get to learn a lot of things about it and even get to try out some of the lessons. It was great. I was so happy about that. Another thing I was really happy about a resource was the Matrix resource that we were showing. Great resource, and it was awesome how it showed you the different levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Just great. Getting your students to proceed along slowly the different levels of the Bloom's technology, so making things more and more complicated as things got along. That was great. If a colleague is ever in need of resources, I'll point them in that direction. If I'm ever struggling to find some resources, I can look at the Matrix. Really helpful. So satisfied that you gave us that. And since I'm a visual learner as well, having it in video format I thought was great as well. They showed the teachers teaching their lessons in video format. Just thought it was awesome. Next thing I want to talk about, Google Docs. I was a little bit familiar with it before this class started. We cut more in depth with it. I was using it a lot more this semester as well. And I actually want to quote one of my fellow interns slash friends who got to use Google Docs in the school he was interning at, and the teachers he was with just thought it was incredible. They were just like, "What sort of witchcraft is this?" Like, just they really enjoyed it. Thought it was cool. I think it played a major part in my major project. Very helpful. Great piece of tech. Another thing, more specific piece of technology we learned about are smart responses. I thought they were great as well. Having students be anonymous when voting in class was great. Seeing if students understand a topic was interesting too. Also having that, being anonymous with it, yeah, I thought it was a great piece of technology too. And now I want to move on to the blogs. Using a blog in your classroom. I thought I have some. I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. I got some good things, bad things to say about it. Some things I kind of wish we would have touched on in class. Maybe it's a possibility we can touch on them in class still. So I thought they were great. They were really interesting. Seeing how a class slowly progresses along with their blog, it was great, and like having parents and stuff get connected through it. But just some questions about, I know in my classroom I had problems with some parents worried about photos and stuff like that, so getting permission forms and stuff for using their children's photos. I know lots of parents are concerned with their children's photos all over the internet, And I know sometimes it can be a difficult process, and I know in a lot of schools that I've helped out with or interned at, it's a tricky line. Can I post this picture here? Can I have this picture still? It's an iffy topic, right? And I kind of wish that's a topic we would have talked about more so in class, about using photos. I know it could be just as simple as sending permission form, but what if, I know I've had some parents who are just like really iffy with some of the things that you're doing in class that you're still trying to capture students' attentions with, but they're just iffy. They're concerned about their student. I think they want the best for their student. And I just uh, would like to talk about this possibly in class, maybe even with open it up to a classroom discussion. Um, and just, yeah, it's just, I feel like it's something that may need to be talked about. Um, Another thing too is I think that the blogs, like, I think they're a lot of work. Like, if I've looked at a lot of the teachers one, and it seems like daily updates and stuff, um, and I'm not completely sure if I'd be up to it as a first year teacher. The workload added on top of that, because I know as a first year teacher you're going to be dealing with marking, planning, extracurricular. There's constantly going to be all these other things flying at you, and I could see myself forgetting to, oh, I got to do this blog as well. But I could see myself actually. I think in a couple years, once I establish my planning, once I get more used to constantly working and getting my marking down and being used to that, that I would be able to step into having a blog in my classroom. I think it might take me a couple of years. I don't think it'd be something I'd want to go into right away, because I think it'd be a little bit difficult. But it's definitely something I would like to try and see, and I think the students would love it as well. Seeing themselves up there building on something, kind of like an online diary, I think it'd be great. But overall, this class was great, very beneficial to me. It was exactly what I was looking for out of this class. And in the end, I just want to kind of leave with this comment that the main thing I learned is that making sure that the kids still come first, that the learning's still happening. You're not just going to throw technology in there because you can throw technology in there. But if technology helps, definitely use it. Go that extra mile to have it in your classroom. And if it doesn't, just don't have to force it. But I'm going to try to use it every single opportunity I can in my classroom. And I hope it makes me the best teacher I can possibly be. And that's pretty much it for talking with this Tech Task 8. Thank you for listening.